Looking for the perfect poo-poo for your next get-together? I've got the recipe for you. These crispy Gau Gee, sure to please. Stick around and I'll teach you how. Aloha mai kako, my name is Relle and welcome to my kitchen where I like to share all my favorite Hawaiian and local recipes. It's the new year and that means some new recipes. And for my family, we like to make dumplings. So today we'll be making Gau Gee. Let's get started and I'll tell you a little bit about it. First, we're gonna start with some ground pork. If you don't want pork, you can use beef. You can use, honestly, whatever filling you want. That's the great thing about these. Gyoza is Japanese. Jiaozi is Chinese. And Hawaii, we call it Gau Gee. Now, I think personally that it's a little bit of a slang that developed in Hawaii from Jiaozi to Gau Gee, you know, kind of the mispronunciation. I don't know if Chinese actually call it Gau Gee. They might. I should look into that. So ground pork into the bowl, some shrimp. They're already deveined, but we don't want the shells. So we're gonna take the shells off and we're just gonna finely mince it up and toss it in. If you have a seafood allergy, you can scratch it. You can do a blend of pork and beef, totally up to you. Wontons, you might ask, what's the difference between Gau Gee and wontons? So Gau Gee is, most times I see it folded in a rectangle, but you can fold it however you want. Wontons have all kinds of fancy wrap. The classic is like a triangle. The fillings can vary. They are very similar. In the end, they're both dumplings. So I think it's part of it is a variation of the name itself, depending on the region. So tell me, if you're from Hawaii, what do you call these? So shrimp, honestly, it doesn't need to be cut up nicely, just rough chopped. For this, it doesn't matter what size shrimp. I like to save the big shrimp for other things where you might keep it whole, but for this one, I just use the smaller ones. They're cheaper. Now that you've got that diced up, we'll get some water chestnuts. You can find this in the Asian aisle at most grocery stores. Again, if you don't like it, leave it out. The best thing about recipes, cooking in general, baking it's a little different, but cooking, you can totally add things you want, leave things out, put more of something you like. A lot of people are like, well, that's not how I make it. I don't do it like that. I don't put that. Okay, great. Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to share my way of how I make it. Is it the right way and the only way? No. But if you're looking for a recipe to try, that's what I'm here for, to share. I don't like gatekeeping recipes. I know some people do, but I'm here to share. Speaking of the recipe, you can find the full written recipe and instructions in the description box below. Check that out. It has a link to my blog. You can read a whole blog post about it and learn something new along with learning how to make the recipe. Green onion. I cut the bottoms off. You can replant them, put them in your stock, feed your animals. Totally up to you. My daughter loves to wrap these. She's playing with her friends next door, but she's always like wontons. My husband, speaking of wontons, if you like wontons and you want that recipe, I'll link that in the description box. My husband likes to make mandu. I have to get that one up on the website. But if you like wontons or any other dumplings, I got pork hash recipe. You can check that out too. Now we'll finish up making our fillings for the Gau Gee. So into this, we're gonna go ahead and sprinkle some cornstarch. This kind of just helps hold it together. A little bit of shoyu. This is a Japanese style soy sauce. Like I say every time, you can find it in the Asian aisle at most grocery stores. If you're gluten-free, you can swap that out for tamari. If you're watching your sodium, you can use coconut aminos. Then we have mirin. Mirin is a cooking seasoning. Also, you can find that in the Asian aisle. Some oyster sauce. Don't like it, leave it out. I like it because it adds a little bit of sweetness, some umami, it's great. A little bit of sesame oil. Sesame oil is a strong flavor, so you really don't need much of it. Some garlic. I like to use a garlic press. If you want to cut it, by all means you can. I'll link the one I have in the description box below. It's a lifesaver, honestly. You just put it in and push it through and you get these like super fine diced pieces like this. A little bit of sugar, yes, sugar. It kind of brings it all together. And some salt and pepper. Now we'll gently mix all of this together. And this is your filling for the Gau Gee. It's the way I make it. Change it up if you want. Try it exactly as is if you want, totally up to you. Now the classic Gau Gee, like I mentioned, is rectangle shape. So you'll want to get yourself some wonton wrappers. If you want to make your own, I've got a recipe for that as well. These are store-bought. They're quick, they're easy, and you're going to use a little bit of water. Some people like to use egg wash. You can do that too, but water works just fine. Make it a family thing. Let the kids help. Let whoever else is around help. The great thing about this is you can make these ahead of time and freeze them too. So it's perfect for your next potluck, get together, whatever. Make a whole bunch and store the rest away for when you need it. It's awesome. So you're gonna start with your wonton wrapper. It is a square. So what you'll wanna do is get a small scoop of the filling and you're gonna put it in. On the side that's closer to you is, I usually try and fill up most of the half, but I leave the edges because what you're going to want to do is use the water. I usually just put water on two sides so that way it acts as the glue, right? And then you're going to fold it over. And the important part here is to try and push out as much of that air. So you're going to start your fingers as close to the filling as possible and then work your way out. So you're going to push it down and push the air out this way, push it down, push the air out this way. And they look like this, little packages of yummy goodness. I'll fold up the rest of these and I'll be right back. All right, now that we've got all our Gau Gee wrapped up and nice like this, we can get to frying. So oil, you want to heat it to about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Use whatever cooking oil of choice you want. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. If you're not quite sure, if you don't have a thermometer, you can kind of just stick the corner in, and if it starts to sizzle around the corner, you know it's ready. You can do a few at a time. If you have a big wok, even better, so then you don't have to wait. And it only takes a couple of minutes on each side. You're gonna fry until golden brown. And dipping sauces. What's your favorite dipping sauce? Classic would be like shoyu hot mustard. You can use Thai chili sauce. Honestly, I like it just like this, but totally up to you. And they get nice and crispy and crunchy on the outside. The sides will start to curl up and they'll start to float. It's fine, don't worry about it. But you're looking for that golden brown crunchy texture that's classic with like wonton wrappers. So that's what we're looking for. And so you can see the edges getting really golden brown like this. So then all you have to do is flip it over. Please, please, please be careful. The oil is very, very hot. Tongs, chopsticks. I honestly usually use chopsticks. One of the reasons is tongs. You know how it has like that groove? Sometimes I catch myself lifting up and the oil comes down the groove and burns my hand. So I like to use chopsticks, but I grab tongs, so whatever works. And after a couple of minutes of frying on both sides, crispy, golden brown, and done. So pull them out and put them onto a paper towel, or you can do like a cooling rack set over a cookie sheet. Basically, you're just trying to drain some of that excess oil. Alrighty, the perfect poo-poo for any football game, Sunday hangout, Aloha Friday, totally up to you. Crispy outside. Juicy dumpling filling on the inside, and perfect for your next get together. If you like poo-poo recipes and you want to see more, then check out this video here. And until next time, ahui ho!
Thank you for watching my mommy's video.